Welcome guys, today we're doing a little collaboration video with the guys from the VideoGamers and we're discussing the Evolve beta and our experience with the game and how we thought it kind of played out. But before we get into that, yeah, we're a little bit late, but before we get into that, just introduce yourselves guys.
We got me, I'm Matt.
I'm Giles, I'm the brains of this sordid operation.
And I'm Chickymon, I'm epic. I'm black.
Just epicness. And last but not least, we got
just Tiff.
So we're here today to discuss the Evolve beta. We all played it together and just want to get our thoughts on it and what you guys think of the game, like first impressions wise. So yeah, what do you guys think?
When you're playing a game, you want it to be fun, and it was quite enjoyable to play, but I'm not sure if that was just because of we're playing it with friends. Like, I've got quite a mixed opinion about the game at the moment. It's fundamentally fun, but it lacks a certain degree of depth. In my opinion, that's my opinion on it in basic terms.
Yeah, I mean, when we were playing it, we definitely noticed that it was just fun playing as a team. Like, this is definitely a game for, if you guys are looking out for a game for multiplayer, this is definitely a really good game to kind of pick up and play. And another good thing I liked was that it's a game that you can kind of jump in and jump out of. It's not like a grind fest. You just get in there and play. But we had some really good matches. I mean, we all played various different roles. You being the monster, we had Giles the monster as well. And then also we had Dom and Tiff kind of helping us in support. We had some really good matches in the game, and I think that really shows the whole kind of where this game's going. But yeah, Giles, what do you think about the game, man? How did you find it?
Well, similar to you guys, I had mixed responses. It incorporated a certain level of teamwork when you're trying to take down the monster, but not to the same extent that you might experience, say, when you're doing the Vault of Glass or playing other games.
Like Destiny, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But on the other hand, playing as the monster, you had quite a lot of fun playing as this Goliath, but not to really the same extent that you would see in, say, Lord of the Rings Conquest playing as the Balrog. So
yeah, I mean, it's really good how they give the player, us guys, the power of control, where you get to actually play as the enemy. You don't have like dumb AI kind of going in, just randomly playing against scripted AI. But no, I totally see what you're saying, like about how you can kind of take control, like, so to speak.
Yeah, well, it's fairly unique in terms of the other games that are on the market at the moment, which is why I think it'll do fairly well.
And Dom, what was your experiences with the game, man?
Well, I guess I can say I loved it, but there's a lot of things that they can work on, especially if a member of your team is AFK and they don't get kicked. And it's just, imagine if they're the trapper and then you find the monster, you get to him, you're like, wait, where's the trapper? And he's just a nonce at spawn, and you're like, oh, great, what's the point?
No, yeah, that's one of my main concerns.
Stuff like that
game
can just ruin the game.
Yeah, like, because we had a lot of trouble trying to get into a match when we were playing the beta, which I'm hoping.
Oh yeah, the matchmaking was
they really
really
need to
annoying.
improve on that. It's easy to find the game with one person if you're just playing solo, but you don't really want to play this game solo, as it's basically a team-based game, so you want to play with many people as you can that you know of and you can easily communicate with, because that game's all based around communication, I feel.
Yeah, that's very keen point. Definitely, communication is key. Based on the level design, how did you guys find the way they kind of designed the levels? Tiff, what did you think about the way the maps were done?
I'm not really sure. Like, they kind of all seemed similar in some sort of way. Like, there was no massive variation between them. They were kind of imaginative. Like, they had different levels, so it wasn't just all like a straight sort of kind of. They weren't boring. That's what I'll say.
Yeah,
there
changes.
wasn't much variation. Yeah.
I wish I could have looked at the map in detail. However, I almost didn't see the map at all because the game is so fast that you're never standing still for a moment. So in a way, I've got no idea what the game looked like. Yes.
Yeah.
It's got a similar aesthetic to Shadow of Mordor, actually, you come to think about it, just a lot darker, and that was one of my problems with it. Every single battle seemed to take place at night. And I'm not sure if that was done as a design choice, like it made the game more interesting, or... I don't know what the thought process behind that was. I guess it makes the monster... It makes it more fair, because the monster would be easily seen during daylight, but it does get quite boring when everything's so dark.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, normally monsters would hunt at night.
Would hunt at night, that's true.
Where
not only that,
coming from.
This is also the beta, so maybe they do have some kind of, you know, night and day cycle. I mean, we did see one map in the alpha that I played that it kind of had a different kind of weather dynamic. It wasn't dark, but it wasn't like
the
bright.
The snowy map.
The snow one.
The best
yeah.
one. I played on that.
That was really fun.
The worst combination is a Wraith and a snow map. I swear, it's unfair. he didn't even bother evolving. He just killed us on one because all of his tracks were covered, and he'll just throw decoys and then get us from behind.
Yes. Tell us a little bit more about the Wraith, because I actually never got to play as the Wraith or the Kraken. I know, Matt, you got to play as the Wraith, and I think Dom, you got to go against the... Sorry, yeah, the Kraken, and Dom, you got to go against the Wraith. Well, I mean, how different he is, like, to the Goliath, because I like the Goliath. I mean, I mainly kind of played as the Goliath during the beta as the monster. I really liked him, but what kind of differences did those other two characters have?
Well, the Kraken has... It is different. It doesn't play exactly like the Goliath. It has similar... It's obviously... It plays like a monster, but it can float through the air. It's got...
To me, the Kraken's better than the Goliath. Because when I played with the Kraken, I was like, it's got a more maneuverability. Because the whole point of the game is to try and get away from the hunters before you get to, like, well, stage 3. And then actually confront them. But it's pretty... I think as you level up the monsters and a lot more, I just think they get better. Like, I've seen the Wraith. And that shit's not fair.
The Kraken kind of did annoy me because it was advertised to be quite fast, and what is kind of fast, it's obviously faster than the Goliath in terms of movement. It feels a lot. Being a monster in general feels sluggish. I thought being the Kraken, I'd feel a bit more nimble and I could escape faster. It wasn't the case.
Well, I think they made the Kraken mainly is to give a different element of gameplay in terms of the the leveling, whereas the Goliath is like more on the ground, the Kraken to be kind of in the air because you can attack from the air. And I think maybe the Wraith, the other monster that obviously they're coming out with, I think he's supposed to be the most agile one.
Yeah. I mean,
the Wraith is a lot of fun. Like, I finally beat one, and I've been one. Being as a Wraith is a whole different gameplay. Like, you just feel you could actually take on people when you're level 1. And the Trapper, you just have to have the best Trapper in the world because it puts out so many decoys. You think you've trapped it, and then you shoot at it for a while, and it's got a fair amount of health. So you're like shooting at it for so long, and then it becomes a decoy. You're like, well, that Wraith's gone. It's already flown away. And just...
See, I actually like the Goliath. I mean, I don't have a chance to play as the Kraken, but I think I'm leaning more towards the Wraith, seeing how his kind of play style. He seems like to be the lot more agile out of the monsters, and that's what I like about this game is because for me, I'm really competitive. I like games that have that kind of competitive edge to it. Do you guys think it has a competitive edge? Like, what are you guys' opinion? Do you find it kind of being like a competitive game?
I wouldn't say competitive, because I mean,
it's not on the
there's no no, I wouldn't call it that sort of competitive. Maybe between the monster and the hunters, sure, but other than that, there's no real kind of competition.
There is. It doesn't. I don't think it supports something like a multi-million-dollar competition. The game doesn't have enough variation. The reason why Call of Duty and Dota can have championships, one, they have a massive following, like millions of people play those games. Evolve is a new IP, and it doesn't have that much popularity behind it. got some because.
But hopefully it can evolve to that state.
Oh wow!
If
But
they
like,
want.
obviously,
I like how you use that.
it's got a degree of publicity because the guys that worked on it, are the guys that made Left 4 Dead, and that's. You know, they're good at things like 4-player co-op. Total Rock are good at that.
Yeah, they definitely know what they're doing.
Even though
I mean,
those 5
They're not particularly good at competitive. It doesn't have like Dota and Twitch. Those people that play those games, they have like lightning fast reactions. They can adapt in a split second. And whilst there is a traits that would be good in Evolve, the gameplay doesn't. Like in Call of Duty, for example, like it's an objective-based thing. Like there will be more than one objective. For the hunters, for example, they have one thing to do, and that's kill the monster. There's only so much skill to like. It's not. It wouldn't be very interesting to watch. Is what I'm really trying to say.
But I mean, in terms of playing, like, how did you guys
playing?
find it? Playing, yeah, like jumping in, jumping out, playing as a team, because we had some great matches. We had some really good, fun playing together. But there was a lot of, concerns as well, like if you are going to pick this game up and you're going to just play it by itself, I mean, bear in mind, I haven't actually played a single player at all. And I know this is not the full release of the game, it was just pure, first impressions on the beta. This game is definitely mainly made for people that are going to be playing multiplayer. And I really hope that they really fix those lobbies, because we did have a lot of issues trying to get into the game. And one of my main concerns is that, if you're going to be playing with a team, because this game is focused on team gameplay, and how long is it going to take to get into a match? I'm really hoping that the beta really helped them out in the data and the feedback that they needed. So when the game does launch in February, that will be really smooth.
But just
On
don't
one
think they
hand,
had enough servers.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
That's the main reason why that they didn't have
They
it.
probably estimated the amount of servers they require for the beta based on what they thought the sales figures were going to be. With something like an open beta, everyone's going to download it. Like even if people that aren't going to buy the game, they're going to download it, and that's probably something they didn't anticipate.
Yeah, which is a good thing. I mean, in a way, it's a good thing that a lot of people get to play the beta as much as, they can, and they can get a lot of people to kind of play it, so they can see, when come launch, they have a smooth launch. Now, we'll only know when the game comes out. Now, my next question is, like, in terms of, character design and stuff, what can they really do with a story? I mean, is story important in a game, or do you guys more prefer, like, just jumping right in there, get into the core gameplay? Which is, like, for me, I'm the guy that I kind of skipped the single player.
But I can't remember it. That's how, like, it wasn't really that memorable. I was just focusing on not letting the monster evolve.
Obviously, the hallmark of a good game is fun gameplay and a storyline to match. Like that is a formula for a good game. That would be a game. You can't really go wrong. But
For me,
Evolve, it's really concentrated on the gameplay aspects, which I feel will be its downfall. The storyline, it's kind of like Titanfall.
yeah. For me, as someone who mainly plays RPGs, the story makes or breaks a game. And given how repetitive gameplay is, it's essentially a match with the same thing over and over again. I don't see how it can go well in the same way as Titanfall. I don't know how you found the story in that, Matt, but
I don't even know if there was a story in that. It was
No, there
Titanfall-
virtually wasn't a story in Titanfall. because the
Titanfall is
online
different though.
shallow.
It was just meant for online. Like those type of games.
it
The
claimed to
storyline
have
in
a
it was
story of
so-
some form.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the story was only multiplayer. I can't even remember it. How much I played.
But then
Titanfall,
again,
I
isn't
really
Evolve
don't remember
kind of like that
But
as
still a
well,
good
where
game.
it's mainly focused on the multiplayer? Evolve is kind of like that.
Yeah,
in the
that's
sense of
why I
saying-
don't really bring it down for the storyline. Like I said, it's a good game. I like it.
Like,
yeah.
It's
As I
the
was- I
storyline
said
doesn't
the-
really make the game.
I said the gameplay and storyline is a formula for a good game. They don't need to they don't need both of those to be a good game. I can think of good games with terrible storylines but good gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. Because
And
what's most important
equally
is the
games
gameplay.
with gameplay that's lackluster but a good storyline. Like, in my opinion, I don't think the gameplay in Dragon Age Inquisition is all that. I really
Yeah.
like the storyline.
Now, I know we had a lot of fun playing it. I mean, when we were initially kind of started the beta, and when we actually finally got into a game, it was a hell of a lot of fun. I mean, it definitely seems to be a game that you can just jump in and play and have a great time with your friends. But one of us didn't really kind of have that kind of opinion. Tiff, what was your kind of thoughts on the game? Because in the beginning you weren't so sure. I mean, has that changed, or playing the beta with us, or is your opinion still the same?
I think my opinion's still the same, really. Like, when I first started playing it, I just thought, for a game that was supposed to be hyped up quite a bit, it just failed to, what's the word? Deliver.
Kind of
That's
deliver,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Kind of, the controls just seem really basic and quite square, I think. Just, it really wasn't that, I've lost words right now.
Dynamic.
Yeah,
Dynamic
thank
kind
you.
of gameplay. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to pick something that you did like about the game, what would that be?
Daisy.
I guess, yeah, Daisy. I don't know, I
Daisy.
guess just
Everybody
the
loves
concept
Daisy.
is quite nice. Like, the idea that you can evolve as a monster and stuff. But what I like is, instead of giving you things that give you quite very specific things that you can evolve, which is like what I said, it reminds me a lot of Prototype, the way that you evolve certain skills, even the design looks the same. It would be nice if you could kind of really customize what you can evolve and what you can't, not just give you a basic, your attack gets better, your defense gets better, whatever gets better. I really didn't play as the monster much, but
I see what you mean, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you do
I
evolve
think-
the skills that you
tend to
get,
agree.
yeah.
but they just
I
sort
think
of,
there should be
they're
more customization.
better,
Like,
there's no... Yeah.
I think if they
Yeah,
kind
but
of
in
bridged
terms
out
of
into
like
kind of
balancing,
creating
that
your
that
own...
would be a lot to kind of take into. I mean, I think
Yeah.
they kind of
I
balanced
think
it right.
the way
but-
how they did their skills was right. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I kind of liked it,
well-
which is great because everyone. I like the whole different kind of opinions. Like some of us like the way they did the skills, where the monster would upgrade, and some of us don't. So it's really interesting to kind of hear everyone's kind of thoughts. The one thing I would say, right, is the abilities of the hunters. With the trapper Daisy, I mean, well, that's right. Her, what was it? Her pet. I'm sorry, Maggie. Her pet Daisy. I wish it kind of did a little bit more than just kind of track him. Like if it kind of like went up to the monster and kind of like jumped on the Goliath or something like that and slowed him down, would have been a really neat trick. Because I think Giles, you mentioned that using the trapper class, one of your abilities, you don't get to use. Or was it Dom? I'm not sure who kind of mentioned that before.
It,
Oh, it was Matt,
well,
yeah.
Maggie
you
replaces...
do get to use it, but it's just
Maggie
Daisy.
replaces an ability.
Yeah, she
Like,
actually
Like
for
replaced
example-
the
ability.
other trapper just gets some kind of sound nodes that you place around the map instead of having Daisy. Yeah, Daisy. So technically, you always have that other slot. It's just you're constantly using it.
Yeah, like
Okay.
it doesn't. The rest of them give you a tactical advantage. Well, they all give you a tactical advantage. It's just that Daisy's constantly active, and I wouldn't say that she's useful all of the time. Sometimes you're following her, and I have no idea like where she's going, half the time.
Oh, okay. Who's
You
you
didn't
guys'
just-
favorite kind of class to be as the hunters? I mean, me personally, I like to play Hank, the support class. I really enjoyed using that kind of martyrdom strike.
Yeah, I feel he's the worst.
He's the worst. I actually really liked him. Thought he was not too bad.
I really like playing the Trapper because, like, whilst the Trapper didn't have a lot of incredibly good skills, the bubble, the what's it called? It was like the mobile arena.
Yeah, the mobile arena.
I think that's easily probably one of the most useful things in the game because it locks, like, the monster is trapped. It can't do anything. It has to fight you.
Yeah, it's
And
literally
even
got
Yeah,
no
if
choice.
the three main classes that are needed are the Assault for your DPS to do the most damage on the monster of all the characters, Medic to make weak points and to heal and revive like teammates, and the Trapper because if you can't trap the monster, he's going to keep on running away from you and you're just never going to kill him. Support
Well, what I like-
is just not needed. That's why I
Well,
don't really
But then
Right.
support
I
also
beg to
provides the
differ 'cause-
shields as well.
Yeah,
for
that's
the
what I was
others,
gonna
The
say.
apart
Assault
from, like,
has
the
his
medics
own
and stuff.
shield.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
other two don't. Like,
Yeah, but Medic
you were
can
low on
constantly
health.
heal you.
yeah, only one at a
No.
time though. So say that two people were low on health.
Support can't do multiple shields.
Well,
Yeah,
but, I mean,
but
it's
two
still, it
people
still
were
can
low on
shield.
health. Medic can revive one, whilst the other can be shield.
Yeah,
So
I
you
still
could just have
yeah,
two
I gotta
medics.
agree that the support,
But you
I'm sorry,
can't have two
the
medics in
support
this, I swear.
is,
No, but I'm saying
it's
just
still a
have,
viable
like,
character.
You imagine
Yeah, I
like you
still
could
think
pick
you'd probably
any
need
character.
support.
Yeah, I would
Otherwise, they
still
wouldn't
think
put
so.
it in the game.
And
They
not only
wouldn't put
that,
an irrelevant
yeah.
class in the game.
I just think
But-
they had to fill up all the letters for their title. They're like, oh shit, we have 4, crap, and the 5th.
But it's not. I
class.
don't think it's that. I just feel like 3v1 probably wouldn't have been that good. And whilst like I agree the support isn't the most useful class. Without it, it wouldn't be
It's
as
needed. Like
Yeah.
I'm not saying like it makes the game. Not saying take it out. Obviously, don't take it out. I'm just saying it's the worst class out of all of them.
in your
me,
opinion.
In my
For me,
opinion.
the main attraction was playing as the monster. The hunters, to me, they just seemed the same as every other first-person shooter I've played. So, that being said, it was disappointing for me that you couldn't, from the offset, play as multiple monsters. You had to go through quite a lot of repetitive gameplay to unlock another monster, which is what kept me from playing it more, whereas
It doesn't take that long, but I get what
But
you're
that's just from the beta.
Yeah, I
like
see
in the
what
full
you're
game,
saying,
it might. In the full game, they
Full
might
game
have
it might be
their
different.
release, or it might take
like
longer.
you
Like
can
we can't
pick which
speculate.
monster you want to unlock by default.
because yes, I mean I might have been tempted to play the game more if I'd been able to do that, but you know, I mean it's
See,
like
my
starting
opinion's
off
bit
in a
different because I'm mainly a first-person shooter guy. I've always loved playing first-person shooters, and when I was first watching Evolve and I saw, you know, they were releasing new characters, like, okay, it's not just going to be these 4 hunters, or, you know, there's going to be a lot more characters. Initially, I thought they're just going to be, you know, skins, like rehashed skins, and they'll have the same abilities. But what I do like is that they took the time to give each of the classes, like, you know, their counterparts. So if you had support and then you know, the other guy was support, that they would have different kind of characteristics, they would have different abilities. So I think,
Yeah,
you know,
I
that-
really like that. Like,
I like
with
that.
the medics, one would be really good. Like you could do constant healing on people with the gun, but the weak spots would be harder because it would be a sniper, so you could only do them slowly. But
Yeah, it keeps
with
the kind of
other
gameplay
one I
fresh.
unlocked was Lazarus, he's absolute tank. He can revive people once they're fully dead. Like when you're waiting for the ship to drop you off again, he can revive you when you're in that state, which is OP, and has a DMR which you can just shoot off loads of weak spots.
But all this it's by no means innovative. I mean, you've got Team Fortress. I mean, you've got loads of games where you can select a class with its own unique perks. I mean, in that respect, I mean, let's face it, the USP of the game is the monster, and for me,
Yeah.
it was disappointing from the offset that you could only play as the original monster. What was it called?
The Goliath.
Goliath.
The Goliath. Yes, I mean, it's by the sound of it, it had the least interesting gameplay of all the monsters, and I just didn't have the patience to play for long enough to unlock the more interesting ones. No, no,
the thing is,
Destiny
like,
jokes,
we say things like we didn't like certain bits of it. The game was fun to play. Don't get us wrong. Like
I don't say
we
that.
did
I love
enjoy
the game.
it. We enjoyed it. a
Yeah,
lot
I
when we
enjoyed the
played.
hell out of it.
There's just a lot of points that they have to improve on to make it actual.
I think nowadays, as
Reach its full
you know,
potential.
we're getting older and a lot of games are, you know, coming out, and we're in next gen. I think us as gamers expect a lot more. But then, you know, being developers, there's a lot of things to kind of consider. You can't make everyone happy at the end of the day, because, you know, when you're making a game, you gotta also think about, you know, how is it going to be fair in terms of balancing issues. Like, how would you make a game where you have 4 enemies taken on 1 person? How would you make that fair? So I can see why they had to make certain decisions, and, you know, in gameplay, like, why not have 2 monsters go against, you know, 4 enemies or and so on. So I can understand why, because it's to keep that kind of
If there were 2
element of-
monsters, it wouldn't be balanced at all.
yeah, it won't be balanced at all. Like, you have to have that kind of thing of having the having a fine line. You're not going to please everybody at the end of the day, and sometimes you may. It's just the luck of the draw. You might get a home run with a game. I still think for a game that's, you know, just done a beta, what I like about them and I give them props for is that they're doing something that's kind of pushing the boundaries in a bit. I mean, we've seen games do with zombies. Obviously, they made Left 4 Dead where they gave you the control, but now this is a whole kind of different look where you actually get to hunt. I've never seen a game where you can kind of just hunt one kind of character before like that. So in that kind of understanding, I appreciate what they're trying to do, but there are a lot of things that they could have worked on, definitely.
Oh yeah. I mean, we spoke a lot about what we did and didn't like about the beta. One thing that was quite surprising to me, we only really had one problem with the beta. The beta was, apart from the matchmaking system, incredibly smooth. Think about it. There was not one time the game bugged out. Everything apart from the matchmaking, everything else was really smooth. From that standpoint, they did a really good job. I mean,
yeah,
it was
definitely
solid.
Delivered a great online experience in terms of, you know, playing with your friends, you know, getting that whole kind of playing together kind of thing. It's definitely a game that communication when you're playing as a hunters is key. So if you're looking for a game to play with your buddies or just have a little laugh around, and you know, I would say yeah, go for it. I still say if you're looking for a competitive game, still give this a chance, because I can kind of see where the competitive edge does come into it, you know. Because me personally, being competitive, I like the odds stacked against me. I like it when I got like, you know, 4 people trying to take me out, and I think the monster kind of delivers that. Yeah. Oh, but then again, I do like the whole working together as a team kind of thing, and it kind of switches both sides, which I do like that in a game. Now, in terms of longevity, I don't know where it's gonna go. Is it gonna last? Because I had a subscriber did ask me, you know, is it fun just to keep hunting down the monster over and over again? And the only thing I can say is that because it's multiplayer, you never know what's gonna happen, and it's not you just hunting down the monster you have to worry about. You got the other wildlife in the game, and we did run into quite a few crazy moments, right, when we were playing.
Oh yeah, there were some pretty large AI creatures dotted around that are terrifying. Like not the ants. There are these plants that will just eat you, and you can't get out until a teammate shoots the plant.
That's what I mean. And if you don't have teamwork, and like you don't all stick together, you'll be eaten by a plant, and they'll be on the other side of the map. You're like, oh,
yeah.
You guys don't care about me.
If you're playing the monster, you can kind of use that to your advantage, but bear in mind these creatures can do damage to the monster as well. I mean, I remember
except for
playing...
the plant. Everything else.
Yeah, except for the plant. Yeah. But I remember kind of starting one of our first games, and I was playing as the Goliath, and I was like, just what, stage 1, and I tried to punch this big kind of crab-like creature.
I remember seeing that in the
face.
video, looking back on it.
Yeah. I was like, you know what? Let me get an early start, kill this thing, get my shield up. I punched him in the face, and he did not like it. He just tore my health like apart. I had to run away, man. I was like, no way. So I do like how they've kind of, you know, filled up this kind of world with a lot of creatures, and there are quite a lot. And the monster can use them to kind of his advantage, which is really good. Because there was one point where I think we did trap, I'm not sure if it was you, Matt, or Giles, we trapped one of you guys, and it wasn't just you, it was like this one big other monster we set off, and we had to fight that as well. And I think that kind of gave one of you guys a chance to kind of get away.
So, yeah, but it can work the other way. Like, it just means who actually attacks him first, or the monster actually finds more threatening.
No, yeah, definitely.
I've trapped them once and be like, oh, you're fine for me? Sick.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also another thing I like is how, you know, the end levels change. It's not always about being open. Like when I was a monster, the end sequence for me, it was like kind of an open area where the generator was. And then when we went against Giles, it was really like a confined space. We kind of got led into a trap. I'm not sure if that was Giles' plan, because he was like just waiting for us to get in there. And when we were in there,
we went in the room. We're like, wait, where do we escape?
God. Yeah, there was like no way to get out, and he totally just ripped into us.
That was an intense moment. That was really good.
See, and that's one thing about this game. It does give you that intense feeling, you know, of being like, oh man, because you're not going against any AI kind of stupid enemies. I mean, there are kind of other wildlife in the game, but you're going against this other player that's thinking outside the box, that can lead you to traps, you know, loop you when you're trying to track him down.
I don't want to talk
So there's a lot. I know I looped you a few times, but yeah, I mean, in terms of what makes a good game, it is definitely about the multiplayer, the gameplay, and you know, I would say single player is important as well, having a game that can really immerse you in the story, but
Sometimes
you know,
it
a
is
lot.
important in the game.
Yeah, sometimes it can be, sometimes it won't be. But in terms of a great multiplayer game, I think they do have what it takes. I just hope that they can kind of give some DLC to make it a little bit more interesting.
A little free DLC can always help the game.
Yeah, everyone loves free DLC.
I think everyone needs to take a leaf out of the CD Projekt Red's book with The Witcher 3, and they're like 12 free DLC packages.
Yeah, that's
That'll be
beautiful.
sweet. But okay, in terms of you guys buying the game, let's kind of wrap up this video and let me know, are you guys going to be buying this game? Matt, were you going to be buying it?
I'm not going to be buying it at launch. I might pick it up later.
Okay, sweet. Giles, how about you? buddy?
I would wait for the price to go down.
Interesting. Chipmon, how about you?
I've already pre-ordered it.
You already pre-ordered it? Sweet. Yeah, I'll be definitely getting the game. Tiff, what do you think? Is this your cup of tea?
Nah, this isn't something for me. I have prototype already. I don't need another one.
Sweet.
It's a very
I mean,
convincing
yeah.
argument. I changed my answer to that.
Change your answer to that. Okay, so yeah, guys. So thanks again for joining us. You guys have any comments? Please leave in the comments below. Let us know what you guys' thoughts are. If you agree with us or don't agree with us, let us know your opinions. Your opinions are always important. But thanks again for joining us in this video. Take care. This is DRAGONFISTS saying peace out.
See ya.
See ya.
Subscribe to PewDiePie. Goodbye.
See ya.